Hello, hello, hello. It's been a while. Couple weeks. Just had some stuff going on. Got a boat and spent my Monday, last Monday, putting some mods on it. I got like a plastic 10-foot pond prowler, and I spent 2 of my days off working on that. And then last Monday was beautiful out, so it was like 76, 75 degrees here in Omaha. And so there was no real show last week other than the podcast course we did with Will and I. So that was a good day, but I spent most of that day out trying to enjoy the weather. And of course, it gets cold again, relatively cold. So I got nothing going on tonight, of course. And so crawling officially starts at the Plex April 8th, Tuesday, April 8th. And I've had this sitting over there since November, I think. I think I got this in November. So, yeah, I probably should build it. And that's what we're going to do. So, the VRD carbon from Vanquish. Got to get started on it. Got to get this thing rolling out. I sold my SCX10 Pro on eBay, so it was. I basically have no comp crawler at the moment. So, we're going to dig into this thing. Schweisberger's on here. I saw that he just had a good weekend up there at Bad Fast. I think he won one of his classes, TQ'd and won, which is pretty cool. We were having pretty good set of club race days on Friday and Saturday. We had 63 entries on Friday and like 30-something entries on Saturday. A bunch of our kids went down to Kansas City to their March Madness race, and the rest of us just kind of stayed. I got some good laps on my B7. Made some setup changes. I pretty much just copied what Rivkin had from his trackside setup, and I really liked it. First week I had this out on the dirt would have been 3 weeks ago, and I raced it on Friday and Saturday. The car kind of felt kind of tight, kind of like I was just sort of driving it around. I wasn't really throwing it in anywhere, and decided to change that a little bit. So put that Rivkin setup on it, 3-hole pistons in the back, 1.7s, 2 1.6 with a 1.5 hole in the front, 30 weight all the way around. His setup has 27. I tried 27. I felt like on our big track it didn't like braking as much into the corners with that soft oil in the back, so I put 30 all the way around again. And I got 1-up springs. Those 1-up springs, they're legit. I got reds up front, golds in the back, and car's really good. So I had a really good day. Probably the best day on dirt that I've had in a long time. Almost kind of like reinvigorated me a little bit. I was actually excited to get to the track. So yeah, I'm excited to get this going. We're actually not racing for 2 weeks on the dirt, so we've got the Tamai Championship Series this weekend, and I'm going to be racing GT1 with my trusty TA07, the one that I did my build video on. So if you're new to this channel and you want to check something out, one of my build video playlists is a Tamiya TA07RR, I think is what it is. I've had that car, it's like 3 years now. A while, maybe 4 years. I don't know. Car works really good, so I'm just going to keep driving it, and kind of excited for that. And then next weekend is Easter weekend, and I actually have been hired to run the Field of Dreams dirt oval race at Need for Speed RC in Garden City, Kansas. And I'll be gone Friday and Saturday, so there's no organized racing at the Plex. It's Easter weekend anyways. And then we got a big-ass track build, and that's going to happen April 1st through the 4th, and expect a video on that one. We're going to get a lot done. Can't believe that's only 2 weeks away. And then after that, we'll have club racing going straight for a while. So A lot going on at the HobbyPlex, and again, one of them is my one of them is our crawlers. April 8th. That's something I really like to do, so that's why I want to get this crawler done. Shouldn't be too hard. Crawlers aren't very difficult. Bag C, the D bag. Props to Vanquish for not using numbers. Because it's never fun when they're numbers. I know this truck's been out for a while now, and we've had them in stock at the Plex now pretty regularly, so I think there's still one there. We got our first batch in. I got mine in the first batch, and still haven't built it yet. So, what do you know? Some good old marine grease. I love these axles. So we got to get into this one. That's true. So Matt Lang's here in the chat, and they have been out there crawling on nice days. So it's been really nice finally for a couple weeks, and the guys have been getting out there and setting some gates and stuff. I'm working on getting us some new rock. I've got two of our landscaping customers that I've contacted about maybe some old rock that they don't have or they don't use or they maybe want to get rid of or whatever, and they've both said that that they would give us some new rock. So I'm trying to get some new rock added to our 2,000 square feet rock crawling course out there, just to kind of freshen stuff up, make something new. I've got plans to reuse some of the wood features in a different way this year. I did that last year too, and it really helped. It really helped kind of give our crawling course kind of a fresh feel for those that have been coming there for a while. But it's pretty fun to go out there and just see people using that thing during the day, during the weekends when it's nice out, especially last weekend when it was 70-something degrees outside. There was people I've never seen before out there. It was great. So, but I do want to kind of like just kind of like, I don't know, freshen it up, give it kind of a newer feel. Maybe try building a couple new obstacles. I want to do it all with rock. I think last year we started using a lot more rock. We basically got some new rock from oh god, what's his name? Ty and Derek a couple years ago, and that helped out a ton, trying to kind of like redo some stuff. I think 2 years ago I went out there and like manhandled the rock with a crowbar to kind of move it in position, and I'm still want to get that like iconic, I want to get a big rock and then build stuff around it, and I want it to be like the iconic thing when people show up and they see that rock, so I don't know, it's one of those things that's always in my mind. It's just a matter of being able to put it together, be able to afford it too. That also is kind of a big part of it. Got to get the thread lock out because you got a lot of metal on metal here with this Vanquish truck. You got your trusty marine grease, and then of course you're going to need our thread lock. Okay, so first things first, I do want to get my spray so I can spray off the lattice grease. I'll be right back. I've got a tiny little bit of motor spray left, so I got to be really careful about how much I use. But you do need to spray off some of the, it's not grease, what do you call that? I don't know, it's just like some of the oil. Yeah, that's on these metal parts here, so the thread lock can do its thing. set that over there for now. We had a really good day today. Day off. Been really, really busy. In fact, today is my last Monday off for like 2 weeks. I think we got, so I work next Monday because I got the next weekend away, and then the next Monday after that, of course, I'll be on a tractor moving dirt. Big shout out to my brother-in-law, Rob, for fixing our tamper. The handle on the tamper broke again, and right when I was working on getting the Techno Series track built, and he got it welded back together for us so we don't have to spend any unnecessary money. I'm going to open up my Kickstart too. Nuthouse is on here. He says, looking forward to the new Arma Typhoon Grom. Yes, we have 24 of them on back order at our store, and I think La Vista even ordered more. So I like that car. It's I mean, obviously it's a Typhoon, right? So, but it's this big, and you know what's interesting about it is you know, the Grom was kind of like Arma's response to the Latrax, like Teton, right? And instead of just doing what Latrax had already done, which is make a short course truck or rally car, they've made a four-wheel drive buggy, which is pretty cool. I always thought how cool it would be to make a I always thought how cool it would be to make a 16 scale version of a 22X4. But I could have swore I saw somewhere a leak that said that they were working on one, but I don't know, maybe I was dreaming. Maybe it wasn't, maybe that wasn't a real thing. Stock class for carpet season. Yeah, I mean, you know, that track that I go to in Newton, they do a, you know, reflex four-wheel drive class, but I could see that, kind of, instead of just having it, just calling it a reflex class, maybe they could call it a four-wheel drive, you know, four-wheel drive mini. So when it comes to the diffs like this, like, because you got to put the locker together, I'm not using my drill for this one because I don't want to over tighten or I don't want to break off. I don't want to break off the screws in any way using that, or strip it, you know. Hold on, I gotta text the wife. I'm gonna turn off my sound so it stops pinging during this. Sorry, guys. All right. So, anyways, so yeah, normally I'd use that, but I kind of don't want to right now with this delicate of a setup. If it's anything like the Phoenix, we're going to be doing the axles first, and then the transmission itself. You guys have any questions or anything like that, just pop them on the chat. It's always fun to interact with the chat while we're on live here. I like to kind of fill everybody in about how we're doing. And yeah, Emerson raced stock with his X-Ray, and he did all right. His car, he needs to spend a little bit more time with it. I tried to get him to stay in practice with us. So after the races were over with on Saturday, I was kind of like thinking to myself, I kind of didn't want to go home. I wanted to drive my car some more, make some changes. So told everybody if they wanted to stick around, you know, we were going to have the computer up for another hour or so, and try to talk Emerson into coming down and spending time with us, and he did not want to do that. So, but other than that, it looked pretty good. Very undergeared. So the X-Ray is, it comes with spur gears for modified. It doesn't really have like a stock spur gear. You know how when you buy an associated car, the B7 or B6 or B64, you'll have two different spur gear options. One for stock and one for mod. The X-Ray doesn't really have that, so we made sure to order. The lowest they have is 75, and they have a 72, but you got to put on the slipper eliminator, which a lot of our kids don't really like as much. So instructions unclear. I screwed my sack into my workbench. Speaking of instructions, put that up there. So anyways, so the Emerson's new car is kind of undergeared, but we're going to get that figured out. So we are definitely going to get it figured out. Where? There they are. 7x14 bearing. Is that right? That's not right. Derpader. It's these right here. You big dummy. I'm telling the telling the thing to cut out the ads. It wants to run ads, which I turned on at one point and I forgot to turn them off. So when you guys are watching the live stream of our races, they're definitely going to be on there. Still, I probably need to go in and turn that off. Although I do make like 40 cents. Something like that. Okay. This needs to have 5x11s. Wait. Is it a 5x11? 5x14, which will be this bad boy. A 72 2 spur gear was just released. Part number blah blah blah. It's in stock on RC America. Well, okay, that's good to know. Cause yeah, I went through our distributors for X-Ray and they didn't have anything. So I did tell Tim the next order that he places with X-Ray, he needs to get some. So now that I know they have that, thank you, Dalton. We're gonna get him the right stuff. Get our grease out. I mean, his car was still fast because it had like a whole bunch of bottom end, and I mean, we do have a long front straightaway again, but still, it was nice to know that. So, you guys, if you've watched my stuff before, you know my theory on grease. I don't use a whole lot of grease. There was actually a post on Reddit the other day, and I don't know if somebody was being cynical or they're trying to be funny, but they're like, "Is this enough grease?" And it was just covered in grease, and I'm just like, "Oh God, no! Don't do that. You don't need that much." So this will work in, and make sure we get that on the right side. There we go. Yeah, see, Dalton's on here talking about X-ray gearing, and I told Emerson that I'm like, you need to put like a monster pinion gear on that thing to to get the gearing right. So Dalton said he was running 75-33 and 75-35, you know, and like on the Associated buggy, I think they're running, 69-28 or something like that. So that's pretty crazy. Okay. 3x10s on the bottom. Now this one we are going to get our drill out of here. And you know what? Just to be on the safe side, because I can eyeball stuff, but I always like to just double check, make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. Trevor Paul says, my son's Yamaha 50 shaft drive, got to get all that grease out of there to be free up the drive shaft. Free is fast. I agree. Not a huge fan of putting a bunch of grease in everything. A little bit of grease, but not a ton of it. Well, it's good that Dalton's on here to help me correct my or get an idea on my son's gearing. Okay, put that there. Like that. 5x11. See, go back up here. What do I think about Team Associated doing a championship edition of the B74.2 instead of a full version? I don't mind that. I actually think that's pretty cool that they called it championship edition because, I got a championship edition RC10 sitting right there, so I thought that was kind of cool. I have no problem with that. I'd rather have them. I like the little updates. I think that's what, unfortunately, our RC world has come to a little bit. Oh, I forgot to put the things in there. I'm dumb. Take those bearings back out. Derp, derp. That's terrible. Why am I doing it that way? I'd rather have them do updates every year instead of coming out with a full car every year. I mean, the B7 definitely needed to be a new car because it is completely different, but if you don't need to have a whole new car, why call it a whole new car, I guess. So, oh, I just lost a bearing. It's on the floor. I'm doing that thing again where I drop stuff on the floor instead of paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay. Not sure I'd want to go into a drag race without any oil in my motor, but whatever fits. Yeah, I mean, a little drop of oil on the bearing isn't such a bad thing. I'm talking about like how these. I'm always talking about how these Traxxas cars come just. It's like the Chinese kid that built them just has like, a grease gun is just stuffing that transmission case full of grease. I hate that. When I do repairs at the store and it's a brand new Arma or a brand new, not brand new, but you know what I mean. When it's one of those, I'm just like, oh no, because you got to wipe all that shit out of there. It's no fun. Make sure I get the orientation right. There we go. Beautiful. Trevor says, "Am I the last serpent to podium at the Plex? COVID summer, first and only time running the series is so much fun." Actually, I mean, it depends on your definition of podium. Um, Olin Hines has been racing with us since he's gotten a little bit older, a little bit taller, um, and he has a serpent, and it's in Plex spec. And I think two 2 weeks ago for Family Friday Off Road, I'm pretty sure he was in second or third. With a Serpent 2.5 or with a Serpent two-wheel drive buggy. It was pretty cool. It was really, really cool. 2.5 by 10. So that's going to be, looks like these. Do we still race the Losi Mini Tees, or did that? Dude, Tiny Tuesday's been doing really well. Tiny Tuesday's a good night to race at the Plex. I mean, we had 41 entries last weekend. So, definitely hasn't fizzled out. We'll see what happens in the summertime, because last summer it did fizzle out. So, but we got back to it. So, but I don't see that. I don't see it going anywhere right now. I think everybody's having too much fun, and the trick is to not take mini racing too seriously. I think the new J Concepts tire too, when it comes out, it's going to help, because it's been kind of hard to keep that stuff in stock to begin with. But like the twin pins and stuff and swaggers, they kind of wear out really fast. So even though it's still significantly cheaper than racing 10 scale off road, you still have a cost to incur if you're just rolling through tires left and right. So I think when the fuzz bites come out, I think it's gonna, or when we get fuzz bites, which should be maybe at the end of the week, possibly. I think that'll kind of help keep the game rolling a little bit, because those fuzz bites will last forever. Not forever, but pretty close to it. Months instead of a month. Okay, we need to get now our front axles moving right along here. Six by 12, which should be this one. And then a 5 by 11 on the top here. You guys are funny. Okay. Ooh, I just cracked my back. We need to pop that piece in here all the way. that feels better. So yeah, these Big Mama Jammas are kind of cool. I might get the brass ones, just because I got them on my Phoenix. But I do like how you get the weight with the kit without spending any more money, you know, if you don't want to. Okay, and then our little set screw. Yeah, I was hoping somebody would bring up the Dirt Nitro Challenge. So Nuthouse just mentioned the 40 plus race. I did not watch that one. I think I caught Charlie and Scotty talking about the ending of it. But I did watch. Emerson and I watched the Pro Truggy main on Saturday, and then we watched the Pro Nitro Buggy A main, and I watched the what other one did I watch on Sunday? Was it the Pro? Would have been the Pro Truggy main? The Pro E Truggy? Is that right? Anyways, I don't know. Dude, this year's DNC was so much better. I mean, last year's was crazy, and we were watching it here, and you know, those guys were doing what 17-second laps. I mean, that was just insane. But this one, I mean, it was what the Dirt Nitro Challenge should be, which is big crazy open track. Lots of jumps, lots of big jumps. You know, I mean, honestly, for nitro racing, really close racing. I mean, the fact that you had first, second, third in the Pro Buggy main on the lead lap, less than 11 seconds apart, that says a lot. That should be a big deal. And then same thing for the Nitro Truggy main for Ryan and Dakota to be that close right until the end. I mean, that really is saying something. So we've got some really good drivers right now. Little bit of parity, which is kind of nice. I think it's the fact that Elliott Boots won Pro Buggy is pretty insane to me, because I don't think until he TQ'd, obviously, I don't think anybody even had him on anybody's radar. And it's good to see Ronafalk doing well. You know, he's kind of bounced around a little bit, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's a World's year, so the Southern Nats kind of started it off for us, and then we've had a couple big nitro races beforehand, but the DNC always seems to the Dirt Nitro Challenge should sort of like start setting things in motion for what could happen this year when it comes to the Worlds, if everybody goes to the Worlds, that is. The last time they were in Brazil, weird things happened, so we'll see how that goes. Ryan dominated one class. That was a pretty epic drive for Dakota Fenn to get third, considering he started the first bump up, which would have been like, what, 13th place? I mean, that's a big deal. Because starting position sometimes can be, I mean, we see it at the Plex. Starting positions, very important at the Plex. So the fact that he was able to finish where he finished. Trevor Paul, you should run 40 plus at Dirt Nitro Challenge. So I went to the Dirt Nitro Challenge in 2011. And those week-long races in me, I don't know. It might have been part of where I was at mentally at the time, um, because just being there for that long, it was rough. I start to like, I don't know. Here's the thing though, if Emerson's with me, that might be different because I went in 2011. Emerson was 6, so um, 5. Emerson was 5. So now that Emerson's older, he's running nitro. Obviously, he'd be racing. Obviously, I'd be his pit dad. I think it might be a whole different story. So yeah, I hear you, but it probably wouldn't be nitro; it would be electric, just because that's what I have more fun with. So we're getting there. I gotta be able to afford an 8 scale first. I mean, my first true love in RC car racing is 2-wheel mod buggy. I love racing that, and then anything after that is um, I do like racing e-buggy though a lot. So I just haven't been able to get my hands on one for a while. And I can't tune an engine worth shit, so I'd have to have somebody tune an engine for me. Actually, Emerson's doing a good job. I'm so super proud of Emerson how he's been able to. I I got him his Mugen for his birthday and never touched it, so maybe that could change. Yeah, the pit lane bobble. It wasn't even that. It was that triple jump section. Every time that he got close, he would crash there. He did it 3 times, and then he did it sort of a fourth time. He sort of rode the pipe. Didn't need a marshal, but he lost a lot of time that way. Okay, where am I at? Let's see. So we're gonna do that, and that goes in there. Actually, what did I use for that last time? I used a nut driver, right? Is that big enough? Yeah, that'll work. There we go. Say no to Nitro Fun Suck. I mean, I'll just say what I tell people when they come to the Plex looking to buy a Nitro car. Nitro's great when everything works. Not my favorite thing in the whole wide world. So short side. Short side is this one. Oh no, it goes that way. Right? No. Yeah, there we go. And this little guy. Tyler Sudata. Is that Tyler Studer? I'm guessing. Just a guess. All right, we need to grease. Whoops. We need to grease this guy again. Again, we're going to go overboard with grease. Anthony Santi on here. Speaking of minis, one of our mini guys. More 2.5 by 10. Lots of them. It's interesting that they're 2.5 and not just straight 3mm too. I think I remember that from my Phoenix though, building my Phoenix truck, being the same way. I got to order some new 3D printed foams so I can have a second set of tires with my J Concepts megalithic tires. And then we should be getting that new 5.25 Tusk in soon too, which I kind of want to get for my 2.2s that I have. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So now that this is together, yeah, it's not near as crunchy as it kind of felt earlier. Matt Lang wants to know what 3D inserts I was running. So I got them from Team Garage Hack Clubhouse. So whatever one they kind of had just as generic ones. So they could 3D print you ones based on the tire you got, and I didn't have time for that obviously because I was there. So we ended up so they had like a tub, and I got firm. Whatever firm, not compound, but the firm. they were firm. They had medium, soft, medium, and firm, and I got firm. They were firm. So it doesn't necessarily feel like you want to over tighten this onto the portal spindle here, if that's what we call this. Felt like if you over tightened it, it was banging up really bad. Rest in peace, megalithics. Only in true Sorka events. They don't call it Sorka Light now, but the Sorka Light guys said that they weren't going to ban it. So it depends on, I guess it depends on where you're crawling and what you're crawling with. That's fine. Tusks are good too, so it's not like we're super losing out on anything, you know. They're just as good of a tire. When I saw the megalithics, I was like, I bet those end up on the banned list. I was like, because they were almost like too close to a rupture, you know. Yeah, the Sorka Light guys, they announced that they were not going to ban them when that ban came down. So kind of depends on what you're, I guess maybe who's running the show. I'm being very, maybe they'll just break in. Maybe I should not worry about it as much. But I'm being very, I don't want to over tighten these because it just felt really bad and crunchy. So it doesn't really say anything about how to do that. So yeah, they're really close to ruptures. They're an interesting tire. That would suck though. You go through all that like time and development to make the mold, and you basically end up with an outlaw tire. I don't know. We still sell a lot of ruptures, so you know, some people just want to crawl. They don't really care about any rules. They're not going to go to a competition. They just want a tire that's going to work good. So you're going to see, you know, ruptures, megalithics, all those still work really good for people who don't, you know, aren't worried about any sort of comps. Some people are intimidated by that sort of thing too. Or some people just don't want to deal with the competition. You know, a lot of times People have had bad experiences competing in stuff. I mean, you can compete in anything, right? Like, I mean, what's some of the weird competitions they have out there? I don't know. Yeah, the Hyrax doesn't look like anything. I said that before when I've said that before when we've been talking about band tires. It's like, well, what are the Hyraxes supposed to look like? And they don't look like anything at all. I mean, it's kind of dumb. Damn it. If you're in the chat right now, what's some of the weirdest competitions you've ever heard of? I'm trying to think of stuff, and I've been getting brain block. Did I talk about my boat yet? I did. I talked about my boat right away, and why we haven't had a show for, like an after-hour show for a little while. It's because I've been out. I've been working on my boat. I finally got it together. We finally maidened it. We took it out last Sunday and Monday when it was really nice out, and now it's all cold and crappy again. So I'm gonna have to wait. Plus, I got a lot of stuff going on at the Plex, so that's kind of cock-blocked me a little bit from being able to go out on the boat. So, but I did finally get a boat. I've been threatening to get a boat for a long time, and actually got permission from the wife. So, and she was all into it. She's like, "Yeah, let's get this and this and this." And she went with me to be my first guest on the boat, and it was nice. We actually, I had the fish finder hooked up, and so we kind of I finally got a good gauge of how deep the lake that I always fish at is. It's not a very big, it's like a pond, but it's up the street in a subdivision, and so that was interesting. This lake that I fish at all the time is maybe 6 feet deep at its deepest spot, and I've got some spots in mind to go fish at that I've never had access to because obviously you're on the shore the whole time. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah, Anthony, it's Waterford. It's you should come with me sometime. Waterford gets really skinny in one spot, and it's a bunch of trees that you gotta. I have to like. My wife was freaking out because she thought we were gonna hit a tree and sink, but the part of the lake where I was catching all my fish at last year, maybe 3 feet deep at its deepest point, and I thought it'd be deep because it's where the dam is at, but it's not. It's this big round, just basin, but maybe 3 feet total. And then the little, there's a little, obviously where the creek was, in that real flooded area where the both sides of the lake are maybe 20 feet apart, and that maybe got 4 feet deep, and then it's 6 feet right after that for a small period of like 25 feet. It's 6 feet, and then it just goes straight up to like 3 feet, and then the north side of the lake, 1.5 feet. We drove the boat around that whole thing, and it was 1.5 feet deep. That's it. So no wonder there's never any fish over there. I thought it would be like way deeper, but it's not. They put shock in Waterford last summer. Fishing isn't that great, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. Last summer I pulled out. See if I can show you a picture. I caught so many fish last year in Waterford. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's me in September. So I'm looking forward to the spring topwater hits coming up here in April and May, because they're all over it up there. Because the lake just gets nothing but a bunch of grass everywhere. So yeah, that might have been October. That was late last year. There's crappie in there. I caught the first fish I caught on my boat on Sunday was a crappie. I didn't even know crappie were in that lake, but there's crappie in there because last fall, again, one of the last fish that I caught, I might still have a picture of it actually. Oh yeah, was that guy. And if I was hungry, I would have tried to catch more and cook a bunch of crappie that night. But that was the first crappie I ever caught up there, and I didn't even know there was crappie in there. And then the first fish that I catch on Sunday is a crappie, and not just any crappie; it's a white crappie. This was a black crappie. Then I caught a white crappie. So there's both types of crappie in there. Anyways, that's a fun lake to go to because it's right up the street. I can go there after work, before work, and then if I don't feel like traveling anywhere, I can go take the boat up there, and then just like laugh at all the people that took my spots last year, because I'm gonna have new spots. It's gonna be great. Anywho, Anthony's always fished the opposite end where the creeks come into the lake, super shallow but lots of good fish. Yeah, it's 1.5 feet. I thought the dredge, so they dredged it, right? They had like these big balloons full of dirt because they dredged the lake. So I thought it'd be a lot deeper. I was surprised by how shallow it actually was. It's very, very shallow. Anyways, this is an RC show, damn it. I'm going to forget something too, and then it's going to be... I'm going to have to redo everything. There's a lot of places I want to go to, though. So, last year, I've always wanted to fish the I-80 lakes. And so, last year I took a couple of Sundays and Mondays and drove 3 hours to go out to Kearney. And I was catching some small bass, nothing big, but I saw big ones. I never could land one. But a lot of those little lakes, they've got like a boat dock, so I'm excited for that. And then of course you got Zarinsky and Cunningham. I'd like to go up to Cunningham sometime. I don't know. A lot of the city lakes, I feel like they're just completely overfished, but I would like to just see. Did I put that on the wrong way? No, I put it on the wrong way. It's got to be the right way, right? Yeah, it's the right way. So yeah, you got me all excited, Peter. I'll talk about my boat again. Prairie View, absolutely. I think Prairie View is going to be a good one this year. I think Cunningham's kind of because it's been a couple years since they drained it and restocked it, and it's pretty clean water. I think Cunningham could have some potential this summer. So I am kind of interested in going over there. It's not that far away from where I live, so it'd be an easy thing to get to. Emerson and I used to do the spillway at Cunningham, and then 2 years ago when they were trying to refill the lake, so they shut off the spillway, and the spillway just died. I mean, it was stinky, stagnant, yucky, shallow water. Guy said there was Northern in Cunningham. I don't think they've officially stocked Northern in Cunningham. So if there's Northern in Cunningham, it somehow got there naturally, but I'm pretty sure Cunningham is not a Northern stocked lake. Flanagan is. And that's where I caught my first Northern pike ever. Last year, I caught a Northern pike for the first time, and I caught a smallmouth bass for the first time in my life. And I was so excited because it happened within like 2 weeks of each other. Flanagan's another one I want to go to. So Flanagan gets totally overfished now, but some of that lake in the north part of it is pretty inaccessible. So I would like to putz up there and see what's up there. And you can't keep northern out of there. So when you do catch a northern, you know, it should be a decent fish. And they're tagged, so. Okay, so now I gotta make a decision because we're at the point where they want me to put on the servo, and I actually got the chassis mounted servo kit for this thing so that I could run my winch servo. So I'm kind of curious about if this thing has a way to mount a servo winch without it. But I don't think it does. So I think I'm going to skip this part for now. I also got the stubby conversion kit for it too, so because I plan on getting a stubby motor. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave that open. I'm not going to put the servo on yet. So I think we're going to... And this should come with... Is that the stubby? That's the stubby. This should come with... Yeah, it does. So it comes with its own drag link. So I'm actually going to leave the tie rod off of it too. So I think we're just going to move on to the rear axle. Yeah. Peter says he misses living on the water in the easy fishing. That would be nice. We're going to set that off to the side. We got all these extra parts for the links. And then chassis mounted, or axle mounted servo, we're not going to use, but we are going to keep that just in case I change my mind later. We're going to put these in this just so we don't accidentally lose the parts. Yeah, the stubby kit's hard to find. We had a couple of them in stock, and when I bought the kit, I bought one of them. Again, that was back in like November. Some big slacker. I kind of wanted to do like a legit build video on this thing, like I've done in the past for the Axial and the Enduro, but my time has been really crappy. That's why we haven't had a What's New Wednesday. I haven't had, we haven't been slow enough for me to do a What's New when I have somebody there that I trust to video for me to do a What's New as well. So time has been a massive problem lately, which is a good problem to have. I mean, it means we're doing good business, and the HobbyPlex is obviously not going to go anywhere. We got that big renovation coming up, so. But as far as videos, does kind of put a damper on stuff that I like to do. So I tried to get Emerson to do a What's New for me the other day, because we do have a shit ton of stuff that's all brand new, and he didn't want to do it. He was occupied. So, whatever. Santi says he feels like he's going to need motors before the ProTech race, and Trinity hasn't said anything about sending the old motors in yet. Yeah, I got my, I have my 17.5 and 13.5 paperweight lying around waiting for the email to send these in and get the replacement. Kind of stinks, doesn't it? But I think they did say April. So, unfortunately, if Verizon says April, it's probably going to be April. Probably late April. That's my guess. Unfortunately. But now I've got a... you know what stinks is they just came out with a new version of their race motors, but I do have a 13.5 Hobby Wing in the package waiting to get put into my four-wheel drive. But I'm actually thinking that I'm going to run mod four-wheel drive this year because I raced mod at the Worlds and liked it. And then I had a mod in my car a couple weeks ago and brought it for Saturday racing and liked it. And I've got a 5.5 sitting over there, which is what you should run in a four-wheel drive. So I was thinking I might put that in for that first Saturday we come back, just to I want to run mod four-wheel drive that first club race we come back on the new layout, and then I'm going to make a decision about the summer series. Am I going to run 13.5 again, or am I going to run mod? So I don't know. I'm stuck. I need to get Emerson a four-wheel drive, or somehow, and so he can run either stock wheeler. I'm sure he'd run 13.5 wheeler. So might just give him my car, and I don't want to because I really like my 22X4. I like racing it, but I don't want to see him miss out. So he didn't get rid of his 22X4. I got rid of his 22X4 because Emerson owed me for his 8 scale. He owed me for his engine because I bought him his ProTech engine, and he still owes me for the Southern Nats, although he's only got maybe 2 payments on that left. So, but he owed me big time. So I'm just we sold it for a good price to a good kid down in Newton, and pretty much used that money to pay off the price of the engine that I bought him. We weren't expecting to buy an engine. He had an engine. He actually had 2 engines. One of them had a funny carburetor. The other one was given to him, and he had some trouble with it. And so we found a good deal on basically like almost a brand new one, and we got that for him basically for Christmas. So, but I didn't get it for him for Christmas because I already paid for a bunch of stuff for Christmas. So anyways, he got it for Christmas, but it wasn't a Christmas present. It was like he needed to pay me back. Aren't I getting some new B74D special edition? No. Probably not. We do have them on order. I don't know. It's kind of why I haven't gotten the Mugen car. I fully intended on getting the Mugen two-wheel drive car when it finally came out, and we've got them in stock at the Plex, but at the moment, I'm pretty comfortable with the B7 already, so I was going to get it just to do a build video for the channel, but I kind of changed my mind. Kind of just don't feel like buying a bunch of cars right now, I guess. It's kind of how I feel about that. But we do need to get something figured out. Emerson's still got a stadium truck, and so we might put that 13.5 in that and just have him run 13.5 stadium truck again. See if he can go back to back at the Pro Tech race, and then see what he does in the Summer Series. I got to get the pictures for the Summer Series. Emerson was supposed to take him. I think he might still have him on his phone, but I gotta talk to him about that, because if he can't find him or whatever, we're gonna have to take those pictures again so we can get the posters on the wall. I am gonna get the Techno Series posters done. I gotta get the Summer Series posters done. I'm like super behind on that. It seemed like every time that I was gonna send the email with all the instructions and all that, I ended up getting sidetracked. So I do feel really bad that I haven't gotten those up yet. It's not something that we want to stop doing. It's just that I just kept on spacing it like a very, very bad race promoter. So we're going to get those going again soon. Make sure all these are snug. So we're on the rear axle now, and then I think the manual takes us after this to the, we'll see how far we get tonight, to the chassis. Maybe we'll get through that. So, ow, once again, got this and this, and these. Really, really hoping that the rock comes through. The new rock I was planning or hoping to get for us comes through. Because I feel like we definitely need something fresh at the Plex. Paul Renault, he wants to know, what am I building right now? I'm building a Vanquish VRD carbon rock crawler that I've had since last year, that I've been, again, procrastinating on building. I wanted to do kind of a build video, and then I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. So we're just going to do it live. We're going to do it live! We're doing it live! So, yeah, right now I'm just putting down the rear axle. So front axles are done. Rear axle. Okay, that goes like that. We need this guy to go in like that. We've got our gear greased up. Wonderful. And this one wants us to do all the screws. The other manual skipped the top two holes. I don't know if it did it on purpose. If it skipped it on purpose or not. I guess we'll find out. I think it does, because I'm pretty sure like this maybe attaches to the top. Oh, that's why. Yeah. It left those out because this attaches to the top like so. So that makes sense. But we're going to use the chassis mounted servo instead of the axle mounted servo. So that's why they had us do that. Now that makes total sense to me. I got another 2x4. What do they call those? They got a name for them, but they just cut up 2x4 sheets of plywood and sell them for cheap. Well, I got one that I was going to use for my boat, and I ended up using a thicker piece of plywood instead for my my floor and my casting deck that I made. And so I finally have something that I can make another board for our mini crawler course, another obstacle for that. I actually had this really cool idea of redoing our mini crawler course at some point where you can stack stuff. So instead of having it now, which is still fun and cool, it's really neat. A lot of people have been using it lately too. But so I have these 2x4 sheets of plywood with our crawler course built on top of them. You can take those and you can move them around. Same concept we've had since we were crawling indoors, like way back in like 2006, right? In 2007. Just way lighter because they're not made of concrete like those were, because that was a 10 scale course and they were made of concrete. I wish we had video of that stuff. There actually is a video on YouTube somewhere. It's called the Midwest. I still have the chip for it. We got these poker chips for some reason. I think you'd either turn them in or this was how you had proof, but it's the Axial Midwest 2.2 Challenge, Indoor Challenge. And it was in 2008. 2009? Anyways, there is a video on this event on YouTube. Very grainy footage. But it is out there. I think you just got to search Axial Midwest 2.2 Challenge and it should come up. I wonder if I can find it. Is my phone dead? My phone's dead. So, never mind. Never mind. Didn't charge my phone. But same concept. Well, so what I want to do is same concept, 2x4, but then what I want to do is I want to design a course where I can make like an arch or something that I can take out so I can move this stuff around, but I can put the arch in, you know, like a big piece that I can either take out or leave in, or maybe I can use it in multiple variations of the same course. So something I've had on my mind all winter, and of course, again, it's time thing, you know, because you know, part store manager, part race director, part activities director, basically at the Plex. So a lot going on. But it's been on my mind for a while. So if I have something on my mind like that, once I get figured out how to do it and I have some time, I'm usually find a way to do it. So I definitely want to make that. Wolf Tracks RC is on here. He says howdy. Grains. Yeah. Potato. It's very potatoey footage of that. I didn't take it. It's from back in the day. And I get to say back in the day. That's from back. Man, that was from back in the day. That was so long ago. Yeah, the old course was left over from that Midwest Challenge, and I think we might even had it up. I think we had that up before that, actually. But we had some stuff that was made that lasted a long time. We had this, we finally took it out. Was it last year? Is Matt still on here? Did we have... When did we take out that concrete wall that we climbed up? we finally busted it up and got it all out of there. I can't remember if it was the start of last season or if it was a year before that. But that was from that event, and I mean, that was a long time ago. It's pretty crazy how that worked. And the cool thing is, once we took it outside, it actually matched up just right to the height of our retaining wall. So it integrated really well into our outdoor course, but it also took up a lot of space, and then underneath of it was pretty much unusable. So that's one reason why I wanted to get rid of it. So we pretty much just broke it up. I even think I brought the tractor out to do that. Pretty sure. My mind is very vague on that part. When you build this layout, call it Nemesis. Nemesis. Like the planet or the Star Trek movie. I have been talking about our new layout a lot lately because I'm excited for it. I'm starting to finally kind of get motivated again, get excited for this spring. You know, our track took a beating this winter. I mean, it always takes a beating every winter, but I feel like we've got a lot more pipe that's like unusable, and the dirt is just beat to shit everywhere. So I'm excited to get all that dirt moved around and tilled up and just kind of redo everything. Get some fresh paint and just make the place look nice again. Okay. Now we're doing this again with our pin. Excuse me. Arch Nemesis. Oh, Arch Nemesis. Now I get it. Okay, yeah, you're totally right. I should totally do that. Now I get it. I'm stupid. No, that's a funny idea. That's a great idea. Six by 12 bearings, which would be these right here. So that goes there. That goes there. And then you need to push that inside of there. Ow. Steve RC's up on here. He says Saturday was a new experience. I keep hearing people say they feel connected to their cars. That was a completely foreign concept. Until he put on some bald eagles for the main. I think you also did like the most laps you've ever done in a main too, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, good tires always make a difference. My car felt great. Track. For as beat up as the track was, it had a lot of grip finally on Saturday. Even with that few cars, like we didn't really have that big a turnout, and I thought the track really came around by the second round of qualifying. So that just means good things for the rest of the spring and summer. That just means that we're gonna get back to business here pretty soon. Gonna water the bejesus out of the straightaway and take the box scraper to it before I put the box scraper away. That's gonna be part of my process for this upcoming dirt track build too. Is I'm gonna get all the dirt onto where the dirt oval's at. All of it. All the jump dirt anyways. And then I'm going to water the bejesus out of the track, get the tractor out, and just drive the track around with the box scraper and pretty much reset that entire floor and get it nice and smooth again. I did that last year, and it was really good all summer long. So I'm going to do that again. The J Concepts race layout, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. So the J Concepts layout, this section here is going to get like dug into, and a lot of that dirt's going to get pushed up right here to create a vert wall. But it won't be like a carpet off-road vert wall where it's you go way up it. It's just going to be a big bank. So this dirt here is going to get dug out, and I've done it before. We're going to do it again, and it should be really good. But the rest of the track, for the most part, will stay fairly flat, except for our elevated straightaway, elevated end of the straightaway, and then the back corner over here is going to be elevated, and I got something really cool planned for over there, and then the front is going to jump up to the front straight. And that's for the J Concepts race, so that's not until like July. So, but I'm kind of looking forward to all that. So, Big Buckarama says we just got a new rototiller at Hobby Action. What a difference that made to the dirt. Yeah, it's we've had our tiller since 2014. Before that, I either couldn't till because we didn't have one, or I would have to rent one. And I did rent one on a Bobcat hookup a couple times. But having our own tiller was a game changer. I know Hobby Action had theirs. Have had theirs before that too. Ours, the floor, we don't have a floor, right? Like if there's no floor underneath of our thing, so we could dig down to China if we wanted to. But the dirt's so hard at certain points that I don't want to use the tiller because it'll probably literally break my tiller. So my 3-point attached tiller, it's kind of like we need a new one. Like we desperately need a new tiller, but I'm trying to milk this thing for as long as we can, so we don't have to spend the whatever it is now. When we bought it, it's $1,500. I'm sure it's more than $2,000 now, but there's certain parts of the track I don't even attempt to till because I know that the tiller will just sit there and bounce on it because the dirt's so freaking hard. And the only way to not make it hard then, if I wanted to, if I had the time, is to put the teeth on the box scraper and drag that box scraper everything and really try to break that stuff up. But that would take so long, and I only have a limited amount of time to build our tracks. So I've gotten into this thing of using the box scraper to re-level everything out and provide us with like a fresh surface, base surface. And then after that, then you put the jumps down, you put all the elevation down, and nobody can really even tell that much anymore that I don't have to till up the entire thing. If I had a Bobcat with a tiller attachment, I think I would actually do that. But our track, so I had a buddy come in a couple years ago, and he had a Bobcat with all the good attachments and everything, and our track busted his tiller. It busted the hydraulic lines to his tiller because the dirt was so hard. So there's the good dirt, all the jumps, all the elevation, all the big piles of dirt with the elevated corners and everything. That's all nice, good, soft dirt. I can go into that thing, scoop all that stuff out, drop it, and then just back into it with the tiller and till all that stuff up and refresh everything, get some air in there, water, moisture, all that stuff. And that's what I've been doing for a long time. But the actual like floor, that's really, really hard. I try not to mess with that too much. Yeah, see, Big Buck Ramen and I think alike. So there's he said corkscrew style. I have a plan that involves a corkscrew, kind of like a Laguna Seca style section, and you can only do that with our elevation, I think. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm gonna keep that one to myself though. I mean, it's on the drawing, so you can go back and rewind this and look and go, wonder where he's gonna put that. So, but yeah. Steve wants to know if my tamper got repaired. My tamper did get repaired. My brother-in-law, I gave him a shout out earlier. My brother-in-law came in and took it and welded me a new handle. So we're good to go. I'm super happy. And he even like reinforced it so it won't break again, hopefully. So yeah, we're all set there. It's good stuff. Oh shit. Stupid screw. So I have thought about trying to find a Harley rake, seeing what that could do to our track. Um, but again, it's one of those things where we've got such a process that works that I it's one of those things where I didn't really feel like we needed to rent one. So every time you do the track builds, this is Big Buck Rama. I only ever see you working on them. Do you ever have a big work parties come out for doing the more remedial tasks like packing and pipe laying? Yes and no. Um, as I get older, I will probably need more help, but um, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing because um, I used to ask for help all the time, and then I'd get disappointed when nobody would show up. So I figured the only way to not be pissed off and disappointed is to not ask for help. But I have been asking help when it comes to like pulling all the pipe off because with multiple people, what would take me 2 hours takes like 20 minutes. So I've had a lot of good local help with that. I have had people come out and volunteer to help with the tamper and stuff and with the raking and all that. A lot of work I do to the track though unfortunately happens at night, and so not everybody has the same sort of freedom that I do to get away from all that. So um, sometimes it just works out where I'm just out there doing it. That's why I give myself 4 days though, so 4.5 days usually for these big ones, the big spring build, and then um, the we don't normally do a fall one, but I think last year we did a big fall like complete track build because we kind of had to. So yeah, it's one of those things where I see other tracks and I see a lot of the help that they get, and I'm kind of jealous. But I also understand. I understand why. So I'm not like butthurt about it. I've just gotten used to doing it on my own. I've also had people in the past that would help and then kind of like demand special treatment or expect special treatment from that point forward. I've had somebody in the past before we had our own tractor that let me use their Bobcat. They were just like, dude, you don't have to rent one. I'll bring one. I'll help you. I'll help you out. I got an extra Bobcat. Yeah, it'll be great. Okay. Did that. Was like, cool, dude. That's awesome. Thought I had one of those things where I was like, dude, this guy's gonna be awesome. Like the rest of the time. He's into RC and he's willing to let us use his stuff. And I probably would have kicked him back something anyways, but um, that wasn't the arrangement. And then 3 weeks later, he was he asked for a free 8 scale, and you're just like, that's not what the arrangement was. Like, if I would have known that that's the arrangement, I would have just said, nah, we're good. Or who knows, maybe I would have, but at least I would have known ahead of time. So I don't know. it's one of those deals where, you know, people who help me, I usually give them, you know, free race entries for a while, and all that. But I also get kind of leery just because of how that's gone in the past, how that's happened. So, you know, I have had my son come out lately more often and do some of the tamping and stuff for me, which has been nice. I like to tamp. The raking sucks, but I like to tamp because I like to see how everything turns out, right? And then also with the tamper, you can screw up a jump pretty easily, even if you rake it. Because the big thing is with me, it's got to be raked just right. Then you tamp it, then you test it, and then if it's good, then you really whack everything in there. But I don't know. I kind of like to see how it turns out as I'm doing it too. It's exciting. So I don't know. It's not a huge deal. Plus, I don't have to be upstairs. You know. Oh shit! I forgot to put the. I gotta grease that. Talking. Where are we at here? Do you build TRX4M crawlers up? I don't have one yet. I do not have a TRX4M. I've got my what I call my money truck, my little SCX24 that has a whole bunch of upgrades on it. And I've got my 10 scale stuff like my Phoenix, which you guys can kind of see right there. And I had my SCX10 Pro last year, and I sold that off on eBay recently, and got this for this season. I've got a Team Garage Hack hog, HOG, that I want to build using the new axial axles, the Pro 45 portal axles. But a TRX4M I have not really gotten into one yet. Tristan, our kid that works at the Plex, who's also into crawling, I'm pretty sure he's got a really good TRX4M and a couple axial trucks, so he's kind of the guru now when it comes to those. Well, I appreciate all the good comments for the track and everything. I don't know, you know, it's kind of one of those things where when it comes to the track, the dirt track at the Plex, it's not really there's not really a vote, you know, on like what happens. It's not really a club structure. It's you know, I spend a lot of time with the book, you know, and sketching out stuff and trying to find the right feel for what I want to do. Sometimes I get stuck on certain things, you know, when we go, if you go back and watch a lot of the if you search YouTube for some HobbyPlex vids, if you look back to like 2012 and 13 and 14, I was really into off-camber stuff, right? Like really massive weird angles off camber. I kind of got away from that. When I started racing on the West Coast for the first time I went to the Reedy race, you know, I kind of got this West Coast vibe, and so I tried to like mimic that with our track a little bit, and so you can kind of see how in 2000. Oh yeah, that's right. how in 2015 and 16, kind of like a lot of the tracks sort of had kind of an OCRC. I tried an OCRC look to it with a lot of elevation still, and then you know, I don't know. Now I can get hung up on stuff, but I try not to. I try to come up with something that we've either never done before, or that no other track has done before, or that we haven't done in a while. So, you know, that's why last year having the back straightaway was cool, because we haven't had a back straightaway in so long. So that was fun. And then before that, we had an angled curve straightaway, which was very unique. I don't think anybody's ever done that. We've done 2 crossovers, and both crossovers worked really well. They weren't your typical kick you in the air into somebody's face like crossover. They kind of like more like drop down. I thought that's the best way to do it, because you're less likely to get somebody hurt. You know, this year for the ProTech race, we're gonna have a split lane, and split lanes are tough because inevitably one lane might be faster. So I have this idea on how to make them exactly the same, and so we'll see how it pans out. Might not work, but if it doesn't, you know, we'll live and learn. But I'm going to try to do something that's not been done before. Okay, front axle, rear axle. I love these axles. They've got the brass in them, so they're the brass inserts. They're already nice and heavy. I love how this truck now comes with those steel weights on the outside. It's pretty neat. Buckarama says that Larry, the owner of Hobby Action, one of the owners of Hobby Action, gives them free race entries for track work. That's what I try to do too. Some of our guys don't take it. They're like, no, I'm still paying. But give them out to people who volunteer, partial. Yeah, I've done that. I've given out like a Plex book before, and we've been in dire need. And I've tried to do that. It's a big deal. Carbon fiber chassis. That's pretty cool. I think I'm going to get through the chassis and then we'll call it good for tonight. I think that's good progress. So we're going to get through what we can. And should be really good. I've been tempted to get new wheels for this thing. Kind of a crawler thing. Whenever you get a new crawler, you buy some new wheels for it. But I kind of don't need them. I got 2.2 Vanquish. I got 2 sets of 1.9 Vanquish that I don't really need. You know. Gotta stop spending stupid money on stuff and start spending smart money on stuff. Speaking of that, just got a super chat from Steve just because. It's pretty awesome. Thank you. Bag C. That is a big bag. Big bag of stuff. Let's clean up our spot a little bit here. Don't need that. Put that there. Put that there. Don't need. Really. Well, yeah, we are gonna need that. What am I doing? That's my 2.0 hand. A lot of good vibes going on right now. At the track, on the chat. I think the HobbyPlex is pretty blessed to have a pretty good vibe to it. Still, to this day. I think I've said it before, but you know, there was a time when that wasn't there, so I think we got some good stuff going on. It's pretty crazy too. You know it's going good when Tiny Tuesday gets 40 entries. Wednesday nights getting 30 to 40 entries. Hot Wheels is getting over 30 people. Friday night is getting 60 or more on a consistent basis now. Saturday's been good. On the carpet, you know, we were getting easily 60 over, and then on the dirt, you know, it'll pick up as we get going. I think the TCS race next week is going to be good. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like we're in a really good place right now. And hopefully it continues. I always kind of get, honestly, I get sometimes like a little nervous about things because, you know, you don't want it to end or fall off. There's stuff that happens, you know, kids grow older, but we always seem to regenerate with Plex Spec racers. It's kind of why we have it. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Plex Spec is so fun, because you get to see some of those kids move on and become our next group of expert drivers. Anthony Santee says he's not ready to buy tires for next month's races. Yeah, I'm still using last year's slicks on mine. In fact, these finally broke in on Saturday. They have that. These are from Hoosier, and they never got used. So I put them on this new car, and I think that's part of the issue I had 2 weeks ago, and why my car felt tight was because they hadn't quite broken in yet. But this Saturday they definitely broke in. They were really good. Luckily, man, you know, I mean, we're running slicks at the Plex. You can get slicks now to sort of last you a while. It's crazy though when they go away hard. You get that slap sound from your tires. That's when you know they're worn out too much. I usually use those for club racing, but even club racing now, I'm like, ugh, do I really want to run those? We have a whole bunch of tires stashed down there, and I went through them all, and I only had one set of two-wheel drive fronts. The rest of them were all four-wheel drive. So I'm good on four-wheel drive tires, not so much on two-wheel drive tires. Abe Froman, I like the Froman. That's awesome. What you racing these days? We are racing. Well, right now, two-wheel mod for me with my B7. Four-wheel mod with my 22X4. Pray to God that I don't break a front bulkhead gearbox. Pray I don't break anything on that car. Because that would suck. Because nobody has any parts right now. Emerson's running stock buggy, and he just finished up 8-scale racing at the Techno Series with this Nitro car. Now we're looking for a Nitro race to go to in the summertime. I think we're probably going to end up going to St. Louis in August, it looks like. And then, of course, I got crawling coming up, so I'm trying to get this crawler built. We crawl every Tuesday officially starting April 8th, so yeah. It's going to be good. We need this. Big Buck Rama, as much as I hate to say it, he had to give up on smoothies. And he's running AKA slicks or voids with the new void foam because they last longer. Yeah, Mitchell Pavel is our local AKA sponsored kid, I believe. I gave all my World's tires away, except for one pair, the one pair that I never used that still had the tag on them, kind of as a keepsake. Sponsored by J Concepts, so I can't run them anyways, but I did start ordering them for the store. Voids. And yeah. Gonna have a lot of rod ends with this one. All the tires work. A lot of it's personal preference. A lot of it, I believe, for us is figuring out what tire sauce to use. Like, I use PB Blaster on gold compound, right? So all winter long with my mini truggy, I had gold ellipses on with PB Blaster. But I don't like PB Blaster with silver slicks. So that's why I like TDK. And some guys like Gravity, the Gravity Doctor. And some guys like the SXT Baja. Some guys like Sticky Kicks. I think it's just, a lot of it's just trying to find the right sauce that works with that compound tire as well. I mean, that's kind of the world we're in, is the tires and tire sauce. A lot of our guys have had a lot of success with bald eagles in both the what is that, the S3 and the clay compound. So I'm going to, we're putting the chassis together, so I'm going to put my chassis mounted servo mount. Might as well do it now. So I just got to read the instructions here on what they want me to do and kind of integrate it into the build we're doing. Anthony Santi says that he's noticed more grip on the J Concept slicks with TDK. I like TDK. I like it a lot. Ever since we got that tire sauce, I've been sold on it. And I've used Baja. It was okay. Had a different feel to it with the slicks than that. And then the Gravity Doctor stuff's good too. It's just, for me, I think I just kind of go with what I know and what I feel more comfortable with. So it's nothing against all the other stuff. It's just that's what I personally like to use more than anything. Okay. Let's get this party started, shall we? So we need 3x8s. Actually, we didn't open up the bag of screws. We got to do that. What servo? I got myself another 1210 from Savix, 444 ounces of torque. And it's fast. I like to do the wheel wiggle thing. I had a 444, and I still have it. But if you listen to the video that I made from Worlds, the crawling home video, if you listen to my truck at certain points, you can kind of hear this squeaking. It almost sounds like a bird chirping. It's my servo. So I think it just needs, like, I need to open it up and like oil the bushings or the bearings that are inside of that servo. I'm pretty sure that's all I needed to do, but I kind of use this as an excuse to get a new one. And I've had good luck with this specific servo for my crawlers. So I was gonna do the direct power thing and all that, but I'm just gonna wire up a BEC, a Castle BEC I got like 3 of them from one of our guys not that long ago, and so I have extra ones. So I'm just gonna wire up one of those and give that thing its full 8.4 to it. So that's the plan, anyways. 3x8. But I gotta build this first. Got my comp spec winch ready to go, which is why I got my chassis mounted servo to begin with, so I could mount that in here. TDK is good stuff. It's pretty funny what happens to it in the wintertime though, around here. It's pretty nuts. So this goes instead of, is the brace still in there? I don't think the brace is still in there now. Oh yeah, it is. No, it isn't. Is it? No, it's not. So the brace is gone. So that means that goes right there, like a so, right? Yes. No. You know what always got me about TDK? Isn't that wasn't that the name of a tape from like the 80s? TDK? Like a tape that you play in a tape deck. Is there any correlation to that? I'm curious. Since it is from Arizona. Three by tens, which should be. If I had my phone, I'd find a picture of it. But I'm pretty sure that, like, what was the name of that? Yeah, TDK was a cassette and VHS tape. Exactly. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. So that's another 3x8. So we're going to do that. I wonder what my son's up there listening to. He's watching something. Any of you guys watch the new Walking Dead? The ones that live? We got 8 people watching right now. Any of you 8 people watched that last night? Not to change the subject or anything, but might change the subject a little bit. Oh, that's why these are in there. Big dummy. Tokyo Electric Chemical Industry Company. What? TV, what's that? Well, my son got me into Walking Dead. I kind of didn't ever really watched it, and then ended up getting into it, and then I watched like all the seasons, got caught up, and now I'm watching the new ones. It's okay. I'm waiting for Cobra Kai season, whatever they're on now, 5, 6. All right, so panhard mount now goes there instead of having the benefit of having the axle mounted servo is you get a shit ton of steering more than you have with the axle mounted servo. The axle mounted servo though gets you 5 circle points right off the bat. I believe it's 5 when you're doing the scale point thing, and then also the Vanquish mount gets you a spot to put your servo winch right away, so you don't have to figure out a place to put your servo winch at that's out of the way. So that's why I wanted to go with the chassis mounted servo as opposed to the axle mounted servo. I did the same thing with the Pro, the SCX10 Pro. I don't know. It's a quick and easy 5 points. There's a guy that crawls with us on Tuesdays. Actually, I think they all have him on now. I think even Matt's got a axle mounted servo. But I'm going to go this route again. Well, I was going to talk about Walking Dead, but since none of you guys actually watch it, then I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. That's fine. Dang it. How about the Bad Batch? Anybody watching the Bad Batch? On Disney Plus? Star Wars? Tomorrow is the first day of spring. And Dairy Queen is giving away a free cone? Really? Why do I feel like I've got the wrong... I mean, it says 3x8, but then it turns into the thingy, and maybe it's meant to do that. Oh, I see. I think it's meant to do that. Actually makes that pretty cool. Yeah, there'll be a mile-long line, especially the one at 132nd. If any of these guys know Omaha, the 132nd Street Dairy Queen always has a line on it. It's always backed up, all the time, even when there's not free ice cream. So that'll be fun. My wife uses the app, and she still has to sit there and wait forever. It says 3x8, so these are all 3x8s. The 3x8 up front kind of protrudes into the body mount a little bit, but I think that's on purpose because when you put the thing in there, it's going to go all the way through. So we have our first night in a long time, open night for Hot Wheels racing, where I'm not having like a theme. And normally, during the middle of the week, I'd be going to Target and Walmart and other places to try to find some new Hot Wheels cars, but not this week. I'm going to go with what I got. Hopefully, my 1 or 2 new cars can go fast. I had enough new cars from my shopping experiences lately that I don't have to buy anymore. I'm actually looking forward to the end of Hot Wheels, so I don't have to buy $10 or $12 worth of Hot Wheels cars in the middle of the week. Because that's what I've been doing lately. And it's starting to add up. Oh, it's kind of stupid. So we're getting all of our braces in here. And where do they want me to put this? There and there. I don't know if you guys can hear the TV upstairs, but it's loud. Emerson's got the television. Emerson should be asleep. It's like a school night. A terrible father. I just sold another. So what I do is I go out and I buy Hot Wheels cars, and then test them. And the ones that aren't fast, the ones that aren't even close to being fast, I just sort of set off to the side, and I get this like this larger and larger growing collection of Hot Wheels cars I'm never going to play with. And then I'll just grab those and I'll put them on a table and I'll just put a sign on it that says $10, you can take them all. And so last Hot Wheels night, I got rid of another 20 something cars for $10, and you know, get to start over a little bit and go from there. Oh, god damn it. The Hot Wheels thing, it's gotten very busy, and it's really fun. I think next year I'm going to come out with like a rule sheet for it, though, like a basic rule sheet of what you can and can't do. And we might even weigh the cars now. I'm thinking, like, they can't be over a certain weight. The problem with that I see, though, is if I start doing that, then everybody's going to, like, make their cars weigh what the limit is, right? But there's some track layouts that we've had where weight is at a disadvantage because you scrub so much speed. So, I don't know. I'm still thinking about doing something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that for next year. That's the plan. I read the manual wrong. You actually don't need that screw right there. I thought I saw it in there, but it's not. So I'm dumb. There is a brace that's supposed to be right here, but because now I have chassis mounted servo, this is where the servos are going to go, so that brace can't be there. So I could probably use that brace somewhere else eventually. Or I could get the Team Garage Hack metal ones and put those in here when we get the chassis on both sides so it doesn't flex a whole bunch. But we got to get through this first. So rear body mount. And we're putting it here so it drops off the back a little bit. I've got the Vanquish body for this too, the stance body, because it kind of reminds me of something modern that's not a Toyota. So I got that for this thing. I'm still processing what I'm gonna probably put on for a body. I like the half cab look and just doing the truck bed in the back, but I might go with a full body again. I don't know. We'll see. Then you got to dress it up, get those scale points, all that good stuff. Which I have a whole bin full of that sort of thing. You need metal bumpers, though. You get extra points if they're metal. And that's been very difficult lately. Like, I haven't been able to find a lot of good bumpers. Should have never sold the ones I had on my Element. I don't know why I sold those. That's kind of dumb. I do that a lot, though. Do a lot of dumb shit sometimes. Okay. So now we need to do the other side. And this just should be a brat, brat, brat sort of thing. Right? Sucks I can't go to some of those. They just announced some of the crawling events around here, and they all end up on race days, of course. John wants to know, what element did I have? I had my original one when it first came out, and then I got the second one, the version 2 kit when it came out, and then I had 2 of those actually. I sold one, then I felt really dumb because it was awesome at the time, and then I got another one, and then I put a oh god, what's the brand name that they actually have in stock of stuff? Dude, I'm tired again. I'm like losing my mind. Put a low center gravity kit on it, and it was okay. And then I thought I'd be slick, and I put axial SCX-103 axles on it, a G-Speed. I had a G-Speed with SCX-103 axles, front and back, with a bunch of overdrive in it, with the Element transmission with a bunch of overdrive in it, and it was okay, but it didn't work as good as just a regular Element, and so that's why I ended up getting rid of that one. And then I kind of just stopped using it. And then we also had a Ecto, and Ectos work really, really, really good just straight out of the box with a good set of tires and a servo winch on them, because they've got that high ground clearance through the back. So 3x8s, yeah. So, but then Axial came out with that SCX-10 Pro, and I just was like, okay, that's what I've been waiting. Something that was just complete in the box. You don't have to go out and source all this different stuff. And so that's why I ran that last year, and then of course Vanquish comes out with this. So I still plan on building the Team Garage Hack truck with all their goodies. So that'll be a project I probably won't even get done till sometime this summer. But that's my hope, is to have two good trucks, maybe one turn into a Class 3 with some rear steer, with the wider axles with the new axial axles that are just a tick wider, but they're not as wide as Capra's. I think actually that would be really cool to turn that into a Class 3 truck. So yeah, I've been tempted to get another Ecto just to have another truck in case like Emerson wants to come, or a customer to try out, on a Tuesday night, something like that is what I've been thinking. So very tempting. We just sold one of the scratch and dent one, or whatever, the natural weathering wear version. I don't know. Maybe I can call up Associated and talk to them about getting me a demo or something. They don't really do that, so they probably wouldn't, but it'd be fast, nice. I put this on backwards. So we're going to take this off and twist it around. So that middle brace has got the bend in it. See those the edges, how it slants inward? That's because they're supposed to slant like this, right? Wait a minute. Is it supposed to slant? Looks like it does. Maybe we'll put that in there last. Need more 3x8s. So I had a question up here. When are we expecting fuzz bites at the store for the minis? So, possibly by the end of the week. It depends on shipping. I believe they're gonna go out tomorrow from direct. So hopefully, if FedEx is nice to us, we might have them by Friday. But if we don't have them by Friday and they ship on time, then we should have them in time for next Tuesday, which would be great. And I got a whole bunch of them, so should be pretty dialed. Now everybody can be dialed with J Concepts mini fuzz bites. That video I released today, I'd been putting off editing that video for like 3 weeks, and then I saw that they finally announced it, and I'm like, I gotta get that out of there. I gotta get that going. So, yeah, it's probably about time that I do that. So I was pretty happy when I got that done. It's only a 7-minute video, but it's like I'm just putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. It's got to go that way because there's no other way for that to go. Right? Or am I putting on the wrong? It has to go that way. It doesn't go that way. Does it? No. Yeah, it has to go this way. There's no other way for this to go. Oh, there it is. Okay. Haha. We got it. Yeah, it's got a little bend in it, so it's got to go on just right to get the bend of the chassis. I've had in the past people build like the Axial Pro. They've come in, and it's one of those weird things where like this chassis should go when, so like when you put it should bend a little bit. They all do that. They all have a little bend to them, and on some builds it's more pronounced than others. And I've had people want to cut the braces and everything. I'm like, no. It's supposed to be that way. It's kind of like when I've had people in the past bring in a brand new car out of the box and try to tell me it's broken because the rear end, the tires point inward. And I've been like, no, it's supposed to do that. Like, your car would literally not go straight if it didn't do that. They're like, no, it's not supposed to do that. I'm like, nope, it's 100% supposed to do that. And I'll have to like show them my personal car to show them that it's supposed to do that. I've had that happen with this crawler before too, where somebody built an Axial and or an SCX-10 and they're like, the chassis bent. I'm like, no, it's supposed to do that. See? So I had it right. I just didn't look like it was lining up right at first, so. Dang it. I'm missing the hole. Giggity. Should be one more little, there it is. I did drop a 3x8 on the floor, so why is that? There we go, we got it. Okay. there is this, and I bet you that 3x8. Oh my God, there it is. It's right there. Found it. Excellent. I'm in the wrong hole. I'm in the wrong hole. Okay. Rear body mount. Chassis. Beautiful. Look at that thing. I was waiting for somebody to say something. All right, the links are up next, and honestly, don't feel like doing those right now. It's almost midnight. So, I think that's going to do us for now. We got pretty far. Got front and rear axles done. Got the chassis essentially halfway put together. Got the skid plate to go. We'll do that. I'm sure we'll get to that when we start doing the transmission and all that stuff. So, yeah. I think that's it for now. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a while. I know we didn't have a whole lot of people in the views all at once, but that's okay. This will be on the internet forever, so who cares? Make sure you subscribe, like, tell your friends. Don't be afraid to become a Patreon member if you want. That helps us do the podcast. Right now, we're just doing it once a month, so you can do that as well, and it goes a long way. I gotta go. You guys have a good one. Enjoyed being here, and we'll see you again.